In the near future, famine and climate change thrust Earth into an extinction-level event. Riots and protests engulf the streets, ultimately pushing humanity to its breaking point in 2242. A spaceship, dubbed the Ark, will transport 300,000 survivors to another planet, now named New Earth, in a distant solar system several light years away. 19 billion people are left behind to perish on Earth. Noah isn't among the chosen ones, but his pregnant girlfriend Haley is. Together, they devise a plan to board the spaceship. However, guards swiftly separate them, and Haley is forcibly taken inside as the desperate crowd breaches the fence, prompting the guards to open fire. On the spaceship, Haley listens to her father, Admiral Kiernan, deliver a welcoming speech, but she's distracted when she spots Noah racing towards her. She seizes the opportunity to introduce him to Kiernan, but refrains from disclosing that he's her boyfriend, portraying him merely as someone who aided her in reaching the ship. Apparently, Kiernan is irate about the pregnancy and would resort to violence towards the father. Consequently, all passengers, except for a select few such as guards, mechanics, doctors, and janitors, are put into cryo-sleep. Since Noah is posing as a janitor, he remains awake to bid farewell to Haley before she enters stasis. As the crew prepares for the quantum jump, Noah inadvertently occupies Clay's seat. The ship then enters hyperspeed and promptly arrives in another galaxy. Due to time dilation, the jump that lasts mere seconds equates to 30 years passing on Earth, rendering everyone left behind deceased. Following the jump, the crew shares a meal and observes as guards apprehend a stowaway, tasering him before ejecting him from the airlock. Commander Stanley asserts authority, emphasizing their 182-day journey to New Earth, and assumes command in the absence of Kiernan, who is also in stasis. One evening, Noah discovers he's sharing quarters with Clay, who is a grizzled older mechanic and attempts to mentor him. The next morning, Noah attempts to converse with Haley while she sleeps, but is interrupted by a holographic message from Clay, reminding him to attend to his duties. As days pass, janitors like Noah toil tirelessly to maintain cleanliness, while the rest of the crew engages in leisure activities. However, an unseen presence lurks in the shadows, observing their every move. One evening, Noah witnesses Clay and another crew member surreptitiously handling mysterious containers. Later, an alarm alerts the crew to an attempted breach of the reactor, an area accessible only to the Admiral. An enraged Stanley investigates, startled by a peculiar noise in the ceiling, though nothing materializes. Concerned, Stanley questions Noah about any suspicious activity, but Noah remains silent regarding Clay. Stanley highlights the presence of rebels opposed to humanity's colonization of another planet, warning Noah to report any anomalies. While fetching cleaning supplies, Noah accidentally spills moxicell, resulting in a table-sized hole. Elsewhere, Shady indulges in a drink, unaware of a strange creature infiltrating his bottle. After consuming it, he notices an odd taste, followed by intense stomach pain. Despite this, he shares a smoke with Blue, only for Shady to succumb to agonizing pain and ultimately explode, drenching Blue and the room in blood. Simultaneously, something within the blood attacks Blue. Noah concludes his chores and attempts to contact Clay, but receives no response. Upon searching for him, Noah discovers Clay concocting a peculiar mixture with moxicell, only to be startled by Clay's holographic appearance behind him. Mistakenly believing he's in trouble, Noah flees and collides with Teak, subsequently reporting Clay's bomb-making activities. Clay appears, and Teak reveals allegiance to him, leading to Noah's capture. Once Noah has been properly handcuffed, Clay's team holds him down and makes him drink something that turns out to be moonshine. All this time, they've been brewing alcohol. They're just keeping it a secret from Stanley, because drinking goes against the rules. That evening, the workers have an impromptu party where they also drink, thus revealing their secret to Stanley anyway. They tell each other about the loved ones they left behind. Noah tells everyone how he will be reassigned to be a butcher when they reach New Earth. Then, Ortega leaves the party to hook up with Blue and finds him welding alone. When Blue turns, his visage is distorted with rage as he assaults Ortega, smashing her head against the wall. Meanwhile, Noah endeavors to modify his information on the ship's computer, only to be caught by Clay. Noah confesses his relationship with the Admiral's daughter before Stanley summons the crew. revealing Shady's remains. Suspecting Blue, Stanley orders a search for the missing individuals, with Teek's prolonged observation of the reactor arousing suspicion. Clay announces the discovery of Ortega's corpse, intensifying the search. Noah eventually locates Blue, attempting to break into the Admiral's quarters. Upon alerting the crew, Clay tries to reason with Blue, while Stanley demands his surrender. Things take a turn when Blue leaps and attacks Shu by biting through the officer's throat. Stanley and Teek are forced to shoot Blue dead. They transfer the bodies to the infirmary for Susan to conduct an autopsy, while Stanley confines the crew to their quarters. As Susan performs an autopsy on Blue's body to find out why he killed Ortega and Shady, Teek searches the video feed and sees a recording of Shady's death and Blue's initial infection. Susan reports that Blue is completely hollowed out and there is a parasite loose on the ship. Susan discovers that Noah is not a member of the crew, but a stowaway, and Stanley arrests him, believing Noah to be involved in the strange goings-on. Clay defends Noah successfully, and he is released. However, Stanley disciplines Clay for his insubordination. The crew deduces that the parasite was deliberately brought aboard to sabotage the mission. Clay proposes awakening the Admiral, but Stanley rejects the idea, citing the inaccessible nature of the Admiral's quarters. While the survivors discuss next steps, they are halted as Teek notices the missing bodies. Suddenly, a zombified version of the bodies attacks the group. Ortega lunges at Noah, while Shu goes after Teek, who relentlessly fires his weapon to no avail. Blue shoves Susan and Clay aside, while Shu tackles Teek, and Stanley futilely shoots at him. With bullets having no effect, Shu moves in to deliver a fatal blow with his fist. Ortega nearly succeeds in killing Noah too, but Susan grabs a weapon and opens fire, holding off the attackers to provide the group with a chance to flee. As they navigate the corridors, they notice other cabins being unlocked, a task seemingly only achievable by Stanley. It's then revealed that Stanley has also succumbed to zombification and is leading the other undead to infect the crew. Clay guides the survivors to the arsenal. Chambers is unable to pinpoint a weakness in the infected, so Clay suggests using a flamethrower. The flamethrower sets off the fire suppression unit, which ruins visibility. Suddenly, the zombies vanish, prompting the group to leave the room and navigate through the fog-filled corridors. They encounter Lincoln, who swiftly joins them just as a zombie attacks. They eliminate the threat, but Teek is suddenly grabbed by the infected and pulled into the mist. Clay runs off to rescue Teek. As Teek and Clay return, Lincoln suggests using the escape pods, while Teek proposes the security bay. So, the disagreement leads to the group opting to head to the security bay without him. However, Lincoln manages to launch an escape pod, but as it leaves the ship, he is shown not to be alone and is killed off-screen. Meanwhile, the remaining survivors get to the security bay, but Stanley nabs Clay as they try and lock themselves in. Noah shoots Stanley before he can infect Clay, and they barricade the door. As the zombies relentlessly pound on the door, most of the team contemplates surrender, but Noah refuses to abandon Haley. With 84 days until the Ark reaches New Earth, the survivors try to concoct a plan to fend off the infected and save the rest of the passengers. Noah spots the air ducts and realizes he can reach the Admiral through them. Clay guides Noah through the air ducts to the Admiral, who they hope will be able to rescue them. While Noah stealthily traverses the ducts, Teek confesses to Clay and Susan that he brought the infection aboard, believing it would swiftly eradicate humanity, echoing the beliefs of the rebel faction. Enraged, Clay throws him against the wall, vowing retribution. As the zombies detect Noah and attempt to seize him through the vents, Noah fends them off until he reaches the Admiral's chamber. Lacking computer access, he forcibly opens the cryo chamber and apprises Kiernan of the situation. After interrogating Teek, Kiernan awakens his team and also confronts Noah regarding his relationship with Haley. Once the team is properly armed, they go down where the zombies are still trying to break down the door to the security bay. A few of them turn around to attack the team, but the others finally open the door and attack Clay's group. A shootout ensues, and little by little, they begin bringing the horde down, but soon the zombies learn how to dodge the shots and attack the crew directly. Now everyone engages in hand-to-hand combat. Amidst the chaos, Blue pursues Noah, while zombies overwhelm Teek. As casualties mount on both sides, Blue corners Noah in the supply room, launching a brutal assault. Noah manages to reach the Moxicell and hurls it at Blue, ultimately vanquishing him. Returning to the corridor, Noah witnesses his team's defeat. Kiernan bids a final farewell to Haley Haley before detonating an explosive, annihilating the zombies. But just as Noah, Susan, and Clay think it's all over, they notice the remaining body parts starting to reconnect. The infected form a stronger mutant being and manipulates Kiernan's hand to access the reactor core. Noah explains the effect the cleaning fluid has, and the group head to Clay's moonshine stash to construct better weapons. Just as they are planning their attack, the computer voice announces the dwindling time to reach New Earth, indicating the mutants' intent to overheat the reactor. Realizing the parasite's sinister agenda, Clay attacks some zombies with his newly constructed weapon. The zombies start to infect the passengers. Despite their valiant efforts, the horde overwhelms them. Clay instructs Noah to locate Haley and escape in a pod while he and Susan provide cover. Noah navigates through peril, reaching the cryo room where he awakens Haley and arms her. Together, they reunite with Clay and Susan, making a desperate dash for the escape pod. However, their path is obstructed by the monstrous mutant, which claims Susan's life before Clay attempts to incinerate it. Despite Clay's efforts, the mutant overwhelms him. The countdown to reach New Earth has reached 15 days, so the couple rushes to escape. A few zombies try to attack them, but they quickly bring them down and keep going. Once they reach the escape pod, Haley gets inside while Noah goes back to initiate the pod's launch sequence. At that moment, the giant zombie shows up, prompting Noah to face the mutant head-on. So Noah hits him with the moonshine thrower before shooting directly at the fire suppression unit to trigger the fog again. Even with difficult visibility, the creature manages to hit Noah, but luckily, he lands next to the computer. After initiating the launch sequence, Noah comes out and uses the remaining moonshine to unleash a devastating attack, eradicating all of the zombies until merely the parasite is left. With seconds to spare, Noah joins Haley in the pod as Clay bids them farewell, initiating the ship's self-destruct sequence. Moments later, Noah and Haley reach New Earth, but as they emerge from the escape pod, Noah spots another human who turns out to be infected, and in the distance a huge monster, preparing for another arduous battle ahead. As the film ends, Noah raises his gun and utters, "Burn 'em all." And with that, the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for amazing videos. See you in the next one.